Okay, Favor, I think we can go ahead and start now.
Okay.
Others join us when they join.
All right. Sounds good. So hello everyone. My name is Favor and I am an admin coordinator here at PMBA. So just before we start, I just kind of wanted to introduce what we'll be doing this evening. So really quickly, we're just going to be having a quick introductory into PMBA, who we are, what our services are for those of you who are not aware. And then really quickly, we're going to be jumping into the speaker introduction and just give a bit of a bio in regards to who Dr. Jimmy Godard is. And then we'll be moving on towards Dr. Jimmy's session where we'll be talking about moving forward with 360 thinking. And then we're going to do a quick wrap up session and just have a few announcements at the end of the session. Okay? I would just ask if you could just mute yourselves while we are presenting, that'd be great. So moving on, I'm just going to play quick introductory videos as to who we are. Please let me know if there's any issues with the sound.
Welcome to PMBA Education. We're thrilled to have you here. At PMBA, we are dedicated to empowering professionals in the fields of project management, product management, and business analysis. Our mission is to provide top-tier education and resources to help you succeed in your career. From comprehensive
Favor, I think we're having some sound issues here.
You can't hear the sound, right?
Yeah, it faded out for a second there.
Okay.
starting out or looking to advance your career.
Is it working now?
Yeah, I could hear it now. You may want to increase the volume and you may want to restart the video. I mean the video, yeah.
Project management, product management, and business analysis. Our mission is to provide top-tier education and resources to help you succeed in your career. From comprehensive online courses and interactive webinars to hands-on workshops and globally recognized certifications, PMBA has something for everyone. Whether you're just starting out or looking to advance your career, our programs are designed to meet your needs. We are proud to collaborate with leading business analysis and project management bodies, such as the Project Management Institute, PMI, and the International Institute of Business Analysis, IEBA. These partnerships enable us to offer you the most current and relevant knowledge, ensuring you're always at the forefront of industry trends and best practices. We are deeply committed to making a positive impact on the BIPOC community. We believe in fostering diversity, equity, and inclusion within the project management, product management, and business analysis space. Our initiatives are tailored to support and uplift BIPOC professionals, ensuring they have the resources and opportunities to thrive. Join us at PMBA Education and take the next step in your professional journey. Visit our website, enroll in our courses, and become part of a community that's dedicated to your success.
So that's who we are. Now moving on to the services we offer.
Welcome to PMBA Education, where we broaden your professional horizons. Whether you're aiming to excel in business analysis, project management, or product management, PMBA offers the comprehensive trainings and resources you need to achieve your career goals. Our business analysis courses are designed to equip you with the skills to analyze, strategize, and drive business solutions. From foundational principles to advanced techniques, our curriculum is a prerequisite for those looking to make a significant impact in their organizations. Project management is at the heart of successful business operations. Our courses cover everything from project planning and execution to risk management and team leadership. With PMBA, you'll gain the expertise needed to lead projects with confidence and efficiency. Product management requires a unique blend of strategic thinking and hands-on skills. Our product management courses offer in-depth knowledge on product lifecycle, market analysis, and customer engagement, ensuring you're prepared to bring innovative products to market. We believe in practical learning. Our interactive webinars and hands-on workshops provide real-world scenarios and problem-solving exercises, helping you apply what you've learned directly to your career. Visit our website, register today, and take the next step towards achieving your professional goals.
So now I'm just gonna give it to Tolu to kind of introduce our speaker for this evening.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Favor, for that. So I am going to go ahead and introduce Jimmy, and then I'm going to hand over to him from there to lead us in our conversation for today. So today I have the pleasure, or we have the pleasure of hosting Dr. Jimmy Godard. Dr. Jimmy is an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and one of the best at organizational IT changes. For more than 26 years, he has led changes with diverse teams, helped non-for-profit organizations, and coached IT leaders to lead with passion and purpose and reach their full potential. He has a unique perspective on the business and technology sides. He implements global technology changes that impact people, processes, and technology. Dr. Godard debuted in the financial industry as a peak time teller and later ascended to a senior program change and service delivery manager. He is now a chief technology officer in the public sector. He holds a doctor of management in organizational leadership, specializing in information systems and technology. He has a master's degree in computer information systems and a master's in business administration. He is a certified goal success coach and instigator of process improvement and innovation with an unwavering determination to bring results. Dr. Godard enjoys philanthropic activities in Portland, as well as nationally and internationally. He has also performed repeated annual service projects in Haiti, Cambodia, Uganda, Kenya, and Ethiopia. Today, Dr. Godard is a sought-after international keynote speaker, strategist, trainer, and goal success coach. Thank you so much again for joining us today, Dr. Jimmy. I'm going to hand over to you now.
All right, thank you so much. And can you hear me?
We can.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I'm going to try to share my screen. I think I probably need, rights to do it. And right now you should be able to see me and talking. Is that good?
Yes, I can see you and I can see your screen and I can hear you properly.
Awesome. So I cannot see myself. So just let me know, okay? I'll have one screen. So it is a pleasure to be with all of you. Thank you so much for the invitation, Tulip. It has been a while that we've been trying to put this together, right? And the time I finally arrived. So today, everyone, I will be talking about move forward with 360-degree thinking. And this is a conversation that I really want everyone to pay attention to, because the fundamental component of this presentation has to do with strategy. What is strategy? As Tulip stated, I've had some background in the financial services for 26 years, which I'm going to share with you today. And many of you may hear this accent in my voice, or some of you may not hear an accent at all. And you may be thinking about that accent, and I will tell you, stop thinking. I am from the country of Haiti, and I started my professional career in Miami, Florida as a peak time teller. And I recently retired from Bank of America as a leader, strategist, governance, and innovation for the company after 26 years. During my career there, I pretty much did a lot of work globally in terms of network transformation, software deployment, you name it, in transitions. I've done so many mergers and acquisitions and also divestiture. It's been very wonderful. I'm very involved in my local community as well, talking about the city of Portland, which I am right now from Florida to here, project management advisory. And I am a strong believer about project management. I'm a past president of the PMI Portland chapter in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. And I have done a lot of work with PMI Global as well when it comes to really help project managers in this endeavor. I also perform the role of adjunct professor at a couple of universities where I teach project management. We good?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can hear you. Go
Awesome,
ahead, please.
cool. Project management, program management, and also business administration, and also marketing. I also partner with PMO Global Institute, which is a different company from PMI, where I teach PMO certifications. As a matter of fact, we do. There's going to be a special for Father's Day, so all of you are guaranteed 10% of that if you are interested in adventure or learning more about PMO certification. I do a lot of podcasts and so forth. And also, I'm a soccer coach and global philanthropist, as stated earlier, where I do work in a lot of other countries. But what brought us today? I want to talk to you today about 360-degree thinking on how to move forward. And we find ourselves in a situation in the days that we live in. Many of you by now know what we talk about, ChatGPT, about large language models or artificial intelligence. Our world is no longer the way it was. And that is really a very erroneous statement to make, because if we have to compare it to what? I'm going to take up to COVID. So we're talking about 2020. Now we're 2024. Before 2020, we did not need to use our credit card to tap. Before 2020, we did not know how we can work with artificial intelligence to get things done for us. As a matter of fact, we did. Many organizations were going through those events, but did not even have words for them. I completed my doctorate degree on how financial technologies were going to transform the traditional banking by the year 2030. That is a long way. I did that because I wanted to get in the gist when we're talking about what artificial intelligence is doing. This is not a course, this is not a presentation, this is not a keynote presentation about artificial intelligence, but I will be amiss not to really dig a little bit deeper there, because everywhere you go, every conference you go, people are talking about artificial intelligence. What I'm here to tell you is our world is going to change. You may think our world is changing, our world is going to change even more. As I was going through my doctorate studies, I had several conversations with a lot of executives, a lot of bank presidents, asking them, what keeps you awake at night? What is the problem? From President Obama when he was in office to the Homeland Security director, from the public sector to the private sector, whether it is financial services or whether it is education, everybody is talking about one thing: cyber security and cyber attacks. Really, what they're talking about is the disruption that all those new technologies are bringing. If you think about it, it is not the technology that's the problem. What is the problem is how the technology disrupt the way we do things. You have transformative energy landscape. You have aging infrastructure. I mean, some companies are still dealing with technical debt from post-Y2K. I thought that was funny until I was doing my study and I discovered this is not funny. This is real. Some companies are still dealing with those things. Some companies do not have processes. Some companies cannot really get themselves out of a paper bag. Many of those presidents, many of those executives, they know business, and that's what they are in the business of doing. However, how to get the things implemented, that's where us project managers, I still consider myself as a project manager because I use project management principles for a lot of things to really deal with the rapid advancing technologies and climate challenges that are getting us to do things here that many of us did not even think about. The rapid advancing technologies, right now we're dealing with what we call artificial intelligence. And I want you to know there is so many different components of it. What we're dealing with, it's called general AI. That has to do with large language models, that's what we call ChatGPT and so forth. But really what it is, it's what I call the algorithmic management. In a sense, computer systems are reading lines. My friends, coming to our world, we have from the right now we are dealing with narrow AI. Sorry, right now we're dealing with narrow AI. We're soon gonna deal with general AI, and we're going to deal with super AI. Those things are coming, meaning we have to situate ourselves in a position that for us to be successful. Let me give you I'm going backwards. Let me give you some additional information. Did you know 66% of technology projects end in partial or total failure? That's according to, and I put the references on the bottom for you. 69% of projects, of digital transformation projects fail, according to McKinsey study. That is 2021. That is not too far long. 51% of executives out of 400 responding said there has been no increase in performance or probability from their technology investment. And 70% of digital transformation efforts fall short of meeting their targets. 70%. Now, the problem is then how, why that we're dealing with this. And through my research, and I've discovered only 8% of leaders are good at both strategy and execution. Only 8% of leaders, of executives are good at both strategy and executions. The question is, the challenge we have, nobody knows many organizations' strategy, not even the top leaders. Why is that? So the way we have it usually, we have our CEO, our CIO, our C-level executives go and have some retreat, coming with this strategy and say, hey, we have this big vision, right? This is a big vision. We're going to transform our organization. This is how we're going to get there. And then what happened? When we get in the office, we put it on the shelves and we get down and doing projects. Sometimes we don't even know why we're doing the projects that we're working on, because we cannot even trace the project back from the vision, let alone the strategy. And I'm going to get to strategy later. But I want also to let you know, this is our opportunity. If you're in the project management industry right now, this is your opportunity. You're going to be the bridge maker. You're going to be the person that's going to bring calm, that's going to bring, I would like to say, a little peace, right? But let's call it normalcy between what the executive team wants to do versus what they really need to do. Because who best is good at strategy and tactic? Project managers. The challenge you have, many project managers, many of you may admit to that, you're frustrated. You're frustrated, why? Because there are things you want to do, your organization doesn't allow you to do it. You're frustrated because you're doing the same thing and we know it's wrong, but we keep talking about the thing is wrong, but nobody's doing anything about it. And that's where I am such a strong, I would say, partisan for project management office. If you don't have a strong project management office to guide you to the process, then those issues that you're having, those issues becomes very relevant. Those issues, then you cannot get yourself out of it. So today I'm going to talk about 360-degree thinking, arise and walk. Arise and walk. If you're in a room with me, I will tell everybody to repeat with me, arise and walk. And let me explain. Oh, I keep going down the one word with my clicker. All right. So it takes a village to raise a child. There is this African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child. And I'm going to walk you through this thing. It takes a village to raise a child because we believe in this notion. It takes a nucleus construct. It takes a group of people to get together to help a child from childhood to manhood. I can always make the parallel. It takes a village to raise a company. It takes a village to raise a leader. Now, today, I'm talking to you as leaders. It takes a village. What happened? When we go to school, we graduate from school, and we go to a company, right? When we go to that company, we find ourselves in a village. We grow in the village. The village is safe. The village is the way we do things. The village is everything that we do. People agree with us. In the village, people think the same way we think. And I will not be amiss to, you will agree with me, some organization even say, we cannot hire this person because that person would not fit in our culture. What they're trying to say, this person is gonna fit in our village. because in our village, we know each other. We understand each other. Our village is safe. What is your village? Your village is where you have influence. And your influence has to do with how you lead, meaning your habits, your actions, your attitude, your decisions, your behaviors. All of those components form you, who you are, and they become your compass, because your compass is what guides you forward. And people are going to follow you as leaders. So if you are project managers who's usually always late in submitting status report, that is your habit, guess what? People may not take you seriously. In addition to that, project team may not give you the information that you need because you're always late. If you are a project manager or a program manager, a portfolio manager, or a PMO manager, your actions, you demand things to be done according to standards, according to processes, guess what happened? People follow. So what happened is your behaviors, your actions influence others to follow you. You do not have to shout from the mountaintop for you to be a leader, right? Leadership is not about you bringing order in people. No, leadership is about influence, and influence begins in your circle. So if you're in an organization right now and you're not happy with what you're saying, if you're in an organization right now, you want to make changes, but there are a lot of forces that are pushing against you, guess what? Start small. Start in your village. Your village is your cubicle. Your village is your team. Start in your village, because in your village, it's safe. I submit to you, as you come here to listen to this presentation, you may be in the village. And as you're in the village, you have three things you carry with you all the time. Everywhere you go. What is it? It's your past, your present, and your future. I cannot understand who you are if I do not know where you're from. You see, I started this conversation with us today by saying where I came from. Because many of you, I'm pretty sure some of you, probably not many, may be wondering about my accent. Oh, does he have an accent? Probably not, because I know some of you are outside of the United States. But in the United States, it's a very, very common occurrence. But the thing for me is I have to tell people where I come from, because then I provide you with context. Then you don't think I have a speech impediment. Then you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. In your present, where you are helps me understand where I need to stand. If I don't know where you stand, how I can stand behind you. If today you're on a subject, you're for this, tomorrow you're for that, how can I stand behind you as a leader if I don't know where you stand on a certain topic? And then, unless you're a politician, then that's a whole different ballgame. We're not gonna go there. And then you have your future, where you're going. You cannot stay in the present. You are in your present by looking outward to see where you're going. And if you're not going anywhere, why should I follow you? Because the last I checked, nobody, unless some weird ones of us out there like to get stuck in a parking lot or like to get stuck in traffic. We like to move. So as leader, you have to be in the present, look out to the future so that you can move forward, because leadership is about moving the dial. So if you're not moving your organization forward, if you're not moving your program management team forward, your project management team forward, then why should I follow you as a leader? So let me go ahead and start over to bring you to where we started. We said what? It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a leader. And a leader right now, we are in the village. And everything we gather from the village is pretty much tells us to where we've been. Where have you been? To a man with a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Why am I saying that? As project manager, so since I have one screen, so I cannot see you, I would like to ask this question. How many of you are very proficient at the waterfall, project management waterfall method? And I'm sure some of you will raise your hand. What does that mean? Does that mean that every single project you have to use the waterfall methodology to do your project? Yes, some of you is yes. And I may ask the question, how many of you are agilists, right? Everything is agile, baby. You bring me a project, let's get the product, let's get the product owner, let's get the scrum master, let's get the developer, and guess what we're gonna do? We're going to create a backlog so we can get a sprint going, right? Everything is agile. Really? I was in a project. It was really a huge project. As a matter of fact, kind of some times ago, we were migrating from Windows 7 to Windows XP to Windows 7. And it was interesting. Everybody wanted to do things sequentially. This was a program about $50 million over 4 years of time. Not really too much money, depends on depends on your industry. But the scope of it was big because we're talking about 450,000 devices globally with all the applications, and we have to stand up a factory to go to every single computer to pull the application list, to rationalize the applications and figure out which ones are going to be compatible from XP to Windows 7, which ones were not going to be compatible. We have to shim them, or which one that we have to say that's not compatible, that's not migrating, that is staying. We have to get new applications. Over 4 years of time, it required a lot of activities, and we could not do it. You could not sequence this over 4 years. So for some instances, it had to be waterfall. Some other instances, it had to be agile. It could not be waterfall. In some other instances,
Should I tell him, or I shouldn't mention to him?
are we good?
Yeah, sorry about
Yeah,
that,
sorry
Doctor.
about that.
That wasn't no someone from the audience. Please continue.
All right. So some other instances, we had to be hybrid. As a matter of fact, I have another presentation that says current trends, future strategies. That deals with PM1, PM 1.1, PM 1.0, PM 1.2.0, and PM 3.0. PM 1.1, that's what we talk about all the previous methodologies before PMI, pretty much level set on agile, on waterfall methodologies. 2.0 has to do with agile, and I showed really the historical component of it and how we get where we are today. But my friends, we cannot stay here. Now we're looking at PM 3.0. Why? Because we have intelligence, artificial intelligence, and I'm not talking about the broad aspect of it. I'm talking about the machine learning. I'm talking about deep learning software that is there to work with you. You have softwares like ClickUp.com, Monday.com. Those softwares are going to put Microsoft Project to bed, because those projects, those software as a service, they have automation, they're smart. If you do not know how to leverage those tools, my friend, your project management career, as you are in the village, you're gonna stay in the village. You need to increase your tool set. You need to increase your knowledge. You cannot, I repeat, cannot look at as a hammer because you have everything as a hammer because you have a nail. Case in point, we have a lot of companies that struggle due to reliance on outdated strategies. We have Blockbuster. Blockbuster, funny enough, I'm probably gonna go to only one. Blockbuster, many people believe Blockbuster failed because of Netflix. They think Netflix pretty much put Blockbuster out of service because Netflix went online. Not really. Blockbuster had an online service. The reason Blockbuster went down, that's because, if some of you remember, the millennials, I'm sorry, you guys may not even know what I'm talking about. It's not a movie that went Blockbuster, okay? It was a story, it was a company. Blockbuster relied on late fees. Blockbuster relied on late fees. And Netflix even wanted to be purchased by Blockbuster, to be acquired by Blockbuster. But Blockbuster did not believe in that model because the model of Blockbuster was late fees. That's how they make the money. Now, when Netflix came around, now I will tell you, Netflix business model had nothing to do with the internet. It had to do for you to order DVDs, and then you can keep them as long as you want. That's what put this company out of service. That's what made Blockbuster bankrupt. It was not the internet. It was the business and the pricing operating model that cost them. So you have all those companies that pretty much went bankrupt because many of them, BlackBerry is another one. There is a great movie, movie documentary style, if you will, on Netflix about BlackBerry. Not that I'm promoting it, but if you want to know what I'm talking about, you really have to watch that movie to find out BlackBerry may have gone down because they refused to get away from their keyboard because they thought that people wanted to type, to feel the keyboard on this on the smartphone. Probably ridiculous, right? But ridiculous right now, because why I'm saying ridiculous, because I have something we call the hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. My friends, it takes a village to raise a child. As you are in the village, as a project manager, program manager, business analyst, PMO, as you're in the village, you're gonna learn. And please get some hindsight when you're done with your projects. Get some hindsight as you move throughout your career. Now, we do lessons learned. If I were to ask the question, how many of you do lessons learned after each toll gate of your project? Everybody will raise their hands. How many of you do lessons learned at the end of a project? Everybody will raise their hands. How many of you consult your lessons learned before you start a new project? Probably have less people. I was in a project, as a matter of fact, when I was doing Windows 7 to Windows 10, which was another big project, and I told our PMO at the time, we need to look at the lessons learned for Windows 7 to the Windows 10, because we did a lot of work from Windows XP to Windows 7. And the PMO director at the time told me, he was also the chief technology officer, no, we're not going to do that because we're going to do something different. I'm like, I'm glad to hear we're going to do something different. However, there is some wisdom on hindsight, because I teach this thing. I know what I'm talking about, because we've gathered lessons learned, feedback, and we went to a lot of work. He said, no, we're not going to do it. So I'm like, okay. So I said, if you're not going to do it, therefore, I don't want to be in this project. I'm going to do something else. 2 years later, I was brought back because we were repeating the same mistakes we did when we were migrating from Windows XP to Windows 7. My friends, there is a wisdom that says, if you fail to learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it. So in your professional career, in your professional development, and everything that you do, leverage lessons learned, leverage feedback, and for your career's sake, get some coaching. Get coaching on the things that you're doing. Do not wait. It's at the end you're asking somebody, how did I do? Right? You need to get coaching ahead of time. Ahead of time, while you're doing it, before you get to the end. So you know what you're doing well and what you need to change. And at the same time, give each other feedback. Coach somebody else, okay? The coach is different from being a mentor, okay? A mentor will walk you through the steps here, this and that. A coach will guide you. So remember that. Hindsight is 2020 vision. So there are some tools you can leverage: historical data analysis, timeline events mapping, root cause analysis, and SWOT. These will help you get some hindsight in the things that you have done, because you are growing in the village. Now, remember what I said. While you're in the village, your past is where you were. Right now, we're looking at where you are. Today, you are in this webinar, listening to me, talking to you about where you are. If I were to say, I don't have access to the Zoom to really get some names, but if I were to say John, if I were to say Pedro, if I were to say Alex, where are you? Are you still in the past, or have you decided to leave the village to take a step out? Because my friends, many of you are doing the same thing over and over again, and you think it is progress. Allow me to tell you, the fact that you've been doing something for 20 years does not mean it's progress. Because you could have 1 year experience that you're repeating for the next 19 years. That is not experience. Experience is when you increase, is when you are moving, is when you're learning more than what you learned yesterday. That is experience. And for that, we need strategy. And that's what strategy is so important. I want you to know that I know strategy, we talk about strategy a lot, what it is and what it is not. Strategy is not your mission, it's not your vision, it's not your aspirations, it's not your core values. Strategy is, think about it this way. We are here, we want to go there. That's your vision. How are we going to go from here to there? That's your approach. That's your strategy. And I will tell you this much. I will go further to tell you, for your strategy, you have to be unique. You have to be unique to be very strategic. What does that mean? That means a lot of companies are doing the things that other companies are doing already. That is not strategy. That is operation excellence, meaning you're doing something, I do the same thing that you do, but I do it better. That is operation excellence. Now, you can leverage that as your approach and call it strategy. Nobody's going to get upset at you, right? But strategy is to develop a distinct and valuable stance through a diverse range of actions. It's about to be unique. That is strategy. So if you're looking, you find yourself dealing with issues today, if you find yourself dealing with controversies, with every single time you come into the office, you're dealing in your projects, you get so much in the weeds, tactical, you need to stop. You need to stop. You need to ask yourself, what is the relevance of what I'm doing? What is the connections on everything that I'm doing? And how can I do the things that I do today better for tomorrow? Because if I'm planning for tomorrow, I should be ahead of today so that I don't deal in the things of today. The things that need to preoccupy my mind is the things of tomorrow. If the things that are preoccupying my mind are the things of today, then I'm not being strategic. If I'm not being strategic, I'm not delivering value. And the way for you to help you to do strategic thinking are some of the tools I have here: benchmarking, current state analysis, balanced scorecards, gap analysis, customer feedback, key performance indicators, environmental scanning will help you. And it will also help you in your thinking. What's wrong with my thinking? I'm glad you asked, because strategy is all about thinking. We have some of us all have deficit thinking. We have deficit thinking is when this person finds everything wrong in something, right? We want to do something, that person find what is wrong with it. I don't mind risk analysis, risk assessment, but don't be so negative, man. I'm sorry. If there's one thing I do not tolerate, well, I tolerate sometimes, but it's negative people. I recommend you to develop some strength-based thinking, meaning think positive. Meaning, instead of saying, if we fail, how much this is going to cost? What about if we succeed? How much this is going to cost? Rational thinking. Rational thinking is good. I could give you examples of rational thinking, but oftentimes you need to have feeling thinking. Because oftentimes when I was doing mergers, it's rational to cut a business, but you must have some human centeredness in terms of how you deliver the news. So we are entering a fifth industrial revolution, where we're going to be working with machines. We cannot give everything to machines and we lose who we are as humans. You have to talk to your coworkers as humans, because without us, without a team, we cannot do much things. There's common sense thinking. What about insight thinking? Common sense, believe me, after my research, I discovered if there's one thing that is not common, it's common sense. So you have binary thinking. Sometimes we say, what about if we do this or that? My friends, why don't we do this and that? It doesn't always have to be either or, it can be both. It can be both, okay? What about equity thinking? The fact that everybody must have a say. Yes, I agree with that. And that's also, I want to recommend you do 360-degree thinking by going throughout the room instead of, let somebody dominate the room and so forth. And sticky thinking is when somebody get a topic, the next thing, we talk about it where we've already know the answer, right? The first 5 minutes of the meeting, we already know the answer, but we've spent 40 minutes talking about other ideas that we know could not be good. Then sometimes you have to say enough is enough. And this takes me to, where are you going? Where are you going? If you don't have a vision for me to follow you, why should I follow you? If you're a project manager and all you believe it's about asking me for things here and there every single day, but you cannot motivate the team to go to the next level, You're always looking at what does not work versus what works. Are you moving the dial? What's your vision? Now, what's your vision not only for your team? What's your vision for this project? Why are we doing it? But what's your vision for you? What is your vision? As an individual, what is your vision? As a business owner, what is your vision? As a business partner, what is your vision? What is your passion? Are you operating within your passion? Think about how much is inside of you that you can deliver. Think about how much is inside of you that we can benefit from, but you're not showing it. My friends, once you have your vision, once you know your passion, opportunity shows up. The doors of opportunity will open for you. The doors of opportunity will open for you, but you have to leave the village. It takes a village to raise a child. Where you've been, tell me who you are. Where you are right now, what preoccupies you should be the things of tomorrow. And you have to look at for tomorrow, which is where you're going, where you're heading. And there are several tools as well: scenarios planning, trend analysis, Delphi technique, person analysis, visioning, backcasting, cross-impact analysis. They're all going to take you there.
You're broken down.
In general, I hope this conversation was very useful to some of you. And I have this QR code. Just tell me how relevant it was to you. How relevant was it to you? And if it was relevant, please share with me and some indicators. And this is part of me looking for feedback. This is part of me asking you to be with me, to arise, to leave where you are in the village, to step out of the village. You want to know what? I have 4 kids. I've coached all of them soccer, and I've coached them, and I also teach them how to drive a car, how to ride a bicycle. But when I was doing those things, how to ride a bicycle, I ran into a parking lot. In the parking lot, it is safe. In the parking lot, there are no cars. But they had to learn how to ride the bike in the parking lot. They had to learn how to drive in the parking lot for them to go into the highway. Is your leadership right now in the parking lot, or are you ready to go to the highway? I recommend all of you to arise and walk out of that village. Arise out of that village and embrace your future, embrace your passion, and embrace the opportunities that will be in front of you. My friends, arise. Know wherever you go, wherever you are, wherever you're going, you bring those 3 things with you, which is your past, your present, and your future. Arise and walk. And you can reach out to me. And by the way, by filling out that, by going to that code, you can get this whole presentation. You can download the whole presentation. It is all yours. And I believe, Tulip, I am ready to take some questions.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. This is fantastic. Very engaging session, Jimmy, very engaging, very relevant, and very practical as well. So thank you so much for sharing your perspective with us. Really valuable knowledge. There are a few questions in the chat. I have one question. So out of my selfishness, I'll ask my question first.
You're the boss.
And-
You're the boss. Do your thing.
and then I'll go to others in the chat. So it's very incredible what you've taught us today, Jimmy. And what I'm thinking is, as leaders or as potential leaders, right? You've talked about the importance of understanding where we're coming from. Okay, so what skills have we built over the years? What sort of techniques have we leveraged over the years that has brought us to where we are right now? And in the present moment, we need to think about the future from a strategic standpoint, right? So we are here now, but how can we start taking actions to become who we want to become? So basically, we begin to take actions today with the future in mind, so that our actions are propelling us towards the future. Very fantastically put together there. But then I have a question, and the question is this. As a potential leader, you're in an organization and you know where you want to be, you know where you want to be, you know the future, right? You have a vision. However, whenever you try to take steps to get towards that future version of you, you get blocked, whether it's by your boss, whether it's by your, your leader, whatever the case may be, you don't feel like you are moving forward in that organization. What steps should I take? Is it advisable to perhaps look for other options within that same organization? Maybe I could find other opportunities there, or perhaps is it time to part with the organization and start looking for other organizations that potentially might be relevant to me as a professional? What's your take on that, Dr.
Oh my
Jimmy?
goodness. Man, I only have 5 minutes. Where do I start? This is exciting. Well, here's the thing. Everything happens for a reason. Remember, I talk about positive thinking. You're not being blocked, okay? You're being pushed towards your destiny, man. You're not being blocked. So here's what you do. While you're in the village, while you're finding all, so don't forget, so if you're to take the village as a circle with a door, right? If you're going through here, right, there's nothing, right? You feel like you're being blocked until you find the door to get out of the village. So right now, get the trainings that you want. Get the trainings that you need. Be the best at what you do. If you're the best at what you do, I guarantee you. Quick example. I have a computer science degree. I was in a loan center. I was doing a lot of work. I was the only person there managing this loan center. I was doing projects. So I write a lot of code to fix issues. I had a manager. He was an associate vice president then. And he told me, why am I doing all of this coding? That's not part of my job. I am redefining my job. And I told him I cannot lower my standards. I was not doing it for the organization. I was doing it for me. The organization provided me a lot of trainings. I'm like, I'm going to leverage those trainings. So the things I don't get in pay, I don't get paid in all of those benefits, I get them in training because here I was building for tomorrow. Okay. But once I create those tools and the words get out that our site we're doing best, all of a sudden people come to our site and get information. All of a sudden my work took me to places mentally I was not even ready for. So I will tell you this, if you're in a situation right now, you feel you're being blocked. If you're in a situation right now, you don't see what tomorrow looks like, I will tell you, you need to think bigger. Your vision needs to be so big that you cannot do it by yourself. Your vision needs to be so outrageously big that it is stupid. Other people will tell you stupid, but you know what? It is not their vision. If it's not their vision, they're not going to have your provision. Therefore, think big. And it may come to the point where your skill is so big, you cannot stay in the village. You have to walk out of the village and go find another company that is going to welcome you for your knowledge. So my friend, I will tell you this, you're not being blocked. You are being pushed towards your destiny. Embrace it and walk out of the village. Embrace it. Now, I'm not going to tell you to quit your job and go out there without knowing where you're going. But yes, start looking. Okay? Start going to events, make connections, get to know other people who will see the greatness that's inside of you, and that will tell you, come with me, and let's do this journey together.
Beautiful. Beautifully said, Dr. Jimmy. Favor, I'm going to hand over to you here to take the questions in the chat. So
Okay.
please go ahead.
Dr. Jimmy, there's one more question for you, and is 360-degree thinking related to systems thinking in any way? And also, how can this teaching be applied practically in our different work settings as well as in our career pursuits?
Yeah, 360-degree thinking is a notion that if I were to get really into the technical aspect of it, I'm not going to have the time. But how can it be applied how can it be applicable in your current work situation? That's what I just went through. In other words, 360-degree thinking, meaning is how you look at something and come back here to start moving forward, right? It is not how do I look up here and stay there? Because if only I am envisioning, I don't have any actions, then guess what? I'm dreaming. I'm not asking you to dream. What I'm asking you to do is this. Look at your past. Let me give you Let me give you another example about 360-degree thinking. When you own an organization, or you know what, let me put it down. When you're a project manager, okay? By the way, I don't know if that person is a project manager. If I know the industry, that would probably help me. When you are a project manager, you are managing a whole project. You're not managing a component of the project, or you could be the manager of a component, then you have a program manager. So I'm going to go a little bit higher. When you're a program manager, you're managing multiple projects. All your project managers are 90-degree thinking leaders. Why? Because they're only thinking for their projects. They're not thinking for other projects, right? But as the program manager, you are managing the bigger picture. So if one project is going down in funding, another project is late, you know the ripple effect on other projects. So you have to think holistically as far before you make your decision. If I were to go down being a project manager, you are managing multiple tasks. You are dealing with multiple teams. Every single team is dealing about themselves. They are 90-degree thinkers, 90-degree thinkers. You, as a project leader, you have to be 360, meaning you have to look at the whole pie to see which area, which teams is going to be impacted by that one. And your decision against that one may look like you're not being fair. But guess what? I cannot be babysitting you because your work is going to impact somebody that is over here. So that is the essence of 360-degree thinking in our day-to-day or business organization. It is a matter of having the holistic view versus a portion of the pie.
Perfect. Thank you. You have one more question. I don't know if you're in a rush, but it's.
Oh, no, I'm all yours.
All right.
We can go.
All right, perfect. Can and how would these strategies work in the political context to help political leaders make better decisions?
What? Didn't I say we're staying away from politics? Oh my goodness. Wow. What example can I take? So go ahead, Favor, repeat the question for me. How can we help political leaders?
So can and how would these strategies that you spoke about work in the political context to help political leaders make better decisions?
Yeah, these strategies work everywhere and everywhere and all the time, 100%. Why? Because these strategies deal with you. These strategies deal with the person, with the leader. Okay, so unfortunately, I am not talking about how you can use those tools to help somebody else. The thing that I'm passionate about is I help managers and executives lead with passion and purpose, inspiring team, and deliver meaningful change. So my focus is you, the individual. Here's what I will tell you. Once an individual gets it, you have the ripple effect. If you ever experience when somebody walks in the room, all of a sudden they can suck the oxygen out of the room. They are so negative and everybody morale is down. And other times somebody walks in the room and everybody is radiant, that person captivates the audience. Why? What's about them? And both of them can walk in the room without talking, and they have that in that room. They have that much impact in that room. So I want you to be that leader. I want you to be the leader that politician can say, you know what? I see you. I see how you're a magnet with people. Can you be on my team? And you can be so influential. Remember your circle of influence, right? You can be so influential where you can guide that politician. But the tools that I gave you today, those are your tools. Those are for you to be better tomorrow. And the more you are better tomorrow, the rest just follows. So I cannot really give you a tool on how to impose on somebody. I can tell you, those are the tools that you can be more influential by your habits, by your actions, by your knowledge, right? By your vision and by your conduct. You're going to attract people because who you are is who you attract. If you're negative, you're going to attract negative people. If you're positive, you're going to attract positive people. Now, you cannot be positive and try to influence some negative people by beating them over the head. That's not leadership. I hope this helps.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any other questions before we wrap up? Okay.
I don't see any other questions in the chat, Favor. So this is
Perfect.
beautiful. And what you said resonates a lot, Dr. Jimmy, because when I bring it to the perspective of how we can grow, learning from our mistakes, basically what you've said earlier on, talking about feedback and adopting feedback for future iterations, right? Whether it's your project, whether it's your personal life, whatever the case may be. And I think it's very helpful when we as individuals even do some reflection on ourselves as people or as persons, understand what are the things that we've done in the past that didn't really work for my career, for my life? What are strategies that I have adopted in the past that didn't propel me forward? What are the things that I'm not really doing that I should be doing? Do I have executive presence? Do I have great communication skills? How do I dress to meetings? Am I on time for work? Am I charismatic? Those very critical things, So I feel like what you said has resonated a lot with me personally, and I'm pretty sure with the rest of the team. So I want to thank you once again very much for accepting our invite and joining us for the session today. Thank you very much. Favor, I'll hand over to you.
Yes, thank you. Dr. Jimmy, is it okay if they want to connect with you on LinkedIn or anywhere else you have a social media platform?
Yes, on LinkedIn, on my website, LinkedIn primarily, Facebook, I rarely go on Facebook. Again, I'm in the public sector right now. I don't hear any politics. So LinkedIn primarily, and our website is www.globalcomposshub.com. And also, I'm going to be in Toronto in 2 weeks. So
Beautiful.
saying, if some people, somebody wants to have coffee, I'm available.
Wonderful. And Favor, we can also share Dr. Jimmy's LinkedIn and website details to the group after the fact email. So that's fine as well.
Perfect.
And also the Godard, people can download the whole presentation. Everything is available to everyone. You can share it as much as you want. For me, knowledge is to share, so I like to share the wealth. So
Beautiful.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. Next time, let's do it in person.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Favor, go ahead, please.
So just to wrap up really quickly, a few announcements. We do have a bunch of other upcoming events in the pipeline. So if you liked today's session with Dr. Jimmy and you're looking for things that are similar, we do have more speaking engagements coming up. So with Tajay McIntosh, we have her talking about integrating business process management into business analysis, if that's something you're interested in. Another talk from Graham Stephan about hybrid agile, which is navigating the world between waterfall and agile project management. That is July 24th. And then we're actually really pleased to announce here for the first time that we will be having our first annual PMBA networking mixer, which is for August 17th. This is at no cost to you at all, as this is our first mixer. So if that is something you're interested in, it is going to be hosted in Toronto on August 17th. Okay, and more will be announced as the time moves forward. Okay, so that's all we have for today. Is there anything else we need to talk about? We're good. I think we're good to wrap up. That was a great session we had with Dr. Jimmy. If you really liked it, please follow him on LinkedIn and any other social media platform he uses. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Favor. Thanks, everyone.